Dembo Sanje Chongde De Pejawa Shaja Doba La Shansen Chudo Josu Shewo Ganye Zo Je Tangse Sa Chen De Kongpa Dembo Ne Ngane Je Den De Na Jo Je Son De Se Ke Ba Je La Shansen Lo Nanda Gunga Chodo Zonzawa Yeshe Janzo Seje Lebo Dra Raba Jede Sona Langyewa Gombo Chunye Chela Chanze Lo Senjo Denpa Chumye Da Ye Jang Sendo Jawa Chela Chanze Lo Dede Jinra Seva Soma Che Nyame Chenjen Chela Chanze Lo Gombo Tuje Che Denpa Dangje Chenpe Denpa Bo Yede Jazo Je De Shen Shen La Chanze Lo Tabe De Cha Zhe Wan Je Ge Yue Ge Son Le Zhe Shen Je Do De Da Cho Je Mo Shen Je Che La Chanze Lo Zhe Nian Zhe Yue La Yang De La Ba Da La Rao Do Ne Shen Ge Da Ba Yin Den Den Gen De La Yang Chanze Lo De Ba Che Yang Me Jia Shen Gen Wa Pe Son So Ba Shen Rang Ge Sen Ne Yang Su Den De Ne Sang Je Den Ba Yin Kama Ra Re Ma Me Dang Je Ma Se Wa Che Ba Dang Me La Lo Da Chen Da Ba De She Che Na De Da Da Sa Na De Yue Dang Che Ze Ba Yin Go Ba Ta Ne Chen Che Zha De De Ga Da Na Da Che Wei Lao Zhuo Wei Si Wei Co Len Zhuo Wan Zhe Wan Yu.
Thus I have heard. At one time, the Blessed One was dwelling in the royal domain of Ultra Mountain, with a great gathering of monks and a great assembly of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Blessed One was absorbed in the samadhi of the many aspects of phenomenon called profound appearance. At the same time, noble Avalokiteshvara, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, looking at the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom, saw the five skandhas in their natural emptiness. Then, through the power of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said to the noble Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva Mahasattva, how should a son of the lineage train who wishes to follow the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom? Thus he spoke, and the noble Avalokiteshvara Bodhisattva Mahasattva answered the Venerable Shariputra with these words. Shariputra, those men and women of the lineage who wish to follow the practice of the profound perfection of wisdom should look at it like this. The five skandhas should be seen purely in their natural emptiness. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Emptiness is not other than form. Form also is not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, recognition, compositional factors of consciousness are empty. Shariputra, like this, all phenomena are emptiness, and having no characteristics, they are unborn and unceasing. They are not impure or pure. They neither decrease nor increase. Therefore, Shariputra, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no recognition, no compositional factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no appearance, no sound, no smell, no taste, no sensation, no phenomenon. There is no quality of sight and so on, until no quality of mind and no quality of mental consciousness. There is no ignorance and no exhaustion of ignorance, and so on up to no old age and death, and no exhaustion of old age and death. In the same way, there is no suffering, no origin, no ending, and no path, no wisdom, no attainment, and no non-attainment. Therefore, Shariputra, since there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and abide by means of the profound perfection of wisdom. And since their minds have no obscurations, they have no fear. Transcending falsity, they attain nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the three times have relied upon the perfection of wisdom and become true and complete Buddhas of unsurpassable, perfect, and complete enlightenment. Therefore, the mantra of the profound perfection of wisdom, the mantra of insight, the unsurpassed mantra, the unequaled mantra, the mantra which calms all suffering should be known as truth, for it is not deceptive. And the mantra of the perfection of wisdom is proclaimed. Teata Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhi Soha. Shariputra, this is how a Bodhisattva Mahasattva should train in the profound perfection of wisdom. Then the Blessed One arose from that samadhi and said to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva, noble Avalokiteshvara, that he had spoken well. Well done, O son of the lineage, it is so. O son of the lineage, since it is just so, the profound perfection of wisdom should be practiced just as you taught, and the Tathagatas will also rejoice. When the Blessed One had said this, the Venerable Shariputra and noble Avalokiteshvara, Bodhisattva Mahasattva, and the entire gathering, as well as worthy beings, gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, rejoiced and praised the words of the Blessed One.
Dozo la buji dozi yang la zhu zhi yang den song zhu da ji zhu ni mu ni long le ji zhao zhu zhu zi jin ma ri mi zi dong ye nyu gu ju ni jun zi re zhu na de nian da ji sa ji da zi yin de le do ye gu ju da ji da ju ni jin zhi da li mi se jia bei yang la de ra ba za na de ra ba za na de ara bazana de zeden chuje chera zeje dale de mo me barazene gadan de je jong lo do ba ye lo zhe bo be na wan ze do lo ya sa je Jaya go ne ya da ya mi Lam Rim Chenmo da ge shi o bin de jo la ga zhen qian bi go ne je zong de gu song do je ngu zhu zi do su pin zuo ge le xie yue zhen bi gu da yue zhuo yue zhe wa gong yue song ma le xie jia ji jian zi bi du xia ji zuo wo de la suo wo de du ji qian bo de xie du ji chang chu zi de lo ba da na ro ba ben zhu zhu bi ba da a de sha yang ne xin la ji la suo wo de sha ba tu mi ye nian na zhe de de yue de da zha bie bie si za ge san le nie se le ba jia jian xu bie ji la suo wa de ya yan yu mi xiu ji lu zhu da da wan zha ba ri bie ke ju jian san ji ge zhong pa pa ya se su sa ma da yue ji la suo wa de xie zhu dang bie chong a de sha ga dang zhen bie mian bo zhong zhen jie nian jiu nang xie gu qie song la su ga dang la ma nang la suo wa de gang jie xi de zi je Tsongkapa ngu dao zhi bie wang xiu jie cao jie dang a dian bie dao bo ke zhu jie yao si ju ba jie la suo wa de jiao song gu de la ma du jie chang gang la gang de xi nian ci zong nian chu dang tu mo ngu zhu zhong zi bie zhen jie la ma na la suo wa de nang jia song ra gen la da ye mi da bo zhi bie zhong wen qiu se yue zhi bie da gen se ba yi sen zi xin nian na la suo wa de jie wo gun du yang da la ma zhong zhe mi qi zhi bie la nong shi jian sa dang lang ji yin den ra zu nian luo ji chang ge gu nian dao xiu san ji qi dang su ji chu na la xiang qiu bo du da nian jiao su jian da ge qi ji ji bie cu na ji zhou la pin xie san ji zhu bo xiu san ji qi dang xiang qiu bo du da nian jiao su jian da ge qi ji ji bie cu na ji zhou la pin xie san ji zhu bo xiu san ji qi dang zu chu na la xiang qiu bo du da nian jiao su jian da ge qi ji ji bie cu na ji zhou la pin xie san ji zhu bo xiu 的起，他我说，他基本上比下届在那里，他跟去修一多呢，去年看着几家呢，那托嘛，那跟我结巴的，那，对我做去，加减的就是话，他下届加减的他。
It is a custom that we need to cultivate appropriate motivations or the positive motivations in the beginning of the teachings, or when you are giving the teachings or receiving the teachings. Appropriate cultivation, appropriate motivation is crucial.
对的，当我做加减的加减让了前面多些，你让你了给嘛当呢？你可以这个人吧，是那对这我做小呢，做当。
So now we should not just take this as a custom. cultivating appropriate motivation. It is important to, look inward and analyze, what kind of mentality that you have cultivated at this moment.
That social Karanglo ne Trochi don't do that social rangi. That social mabishin rigmaro. That social language jago.
So when you ask the question to ourselves, then the honest answer is very important, because if you do not answer honestly, then you are not being honest to yourself.
social nipa karento tayudi ngasola ranjin nika yuten tashimba druegi nipala chachin chanso rani la tsawachi yobachi.
So now when you look at ourselves, we will really find that we have a potential to fulfill the purpose of oneself and that of other sentient beings.
Chachin de tsamba kanshila chachin de Mune Tunaki Nipa Yoba de Nipa Yoba Konoran Pejo Matuaje, and the Rani Chico sent the Data Chico Pejo Tanshawana, and Matsu Socha Tendro Sencha Tagatan to Ayan, Telemandawachi Gogundo was an any Susul Kimachitan.
So now, since we have this potential, or we could say a seed of fulfilling the purpose of oneself and that of other sentient beings, and what is important for us here is now to use those potentials. And we should not misuse the potential that we have, fulfilling the purpose of other beings. Not just using that potential, but mere using the potential of fulfilling one's own self, one's own purpose. So then we're not really, there's not much difference between human beings and animals.
Tawana Tendri Arolan Chachin the Kariche the Tango do Sedi, the Susugin Debate Dewachi, Dewatanya, then to Dewachi. Any Randa Chisogin, Tayabi Sanjataji, Chisogin Zane, Tayabi Sanjataji, Tandating in but the Tango do said Tachi.
So now here, the purpose of oneself, when speaking about for fulfilling the purpose of oneself and that of other sentient beings, our purpose is to achieve happiness, and happiness too is everlasting happiness. So since we have this potential in us to fulfilling the happiness of oneself and other sentient beings, so from now on, one must, take a commitment. One must take a commitment for using those two potentials for fulfilling the purpose of oneself and other beings.
Na tundri ki kyono chepa che de ka che yin la wa na sa cha ka re sa la wa na ta na nga so ngubi ne se la ta da yo sa de nga so yin de che en ta da nga so la re lama je be na ta de wa yin zan che ba ta ba la so ta yin de kan de man na yin ra kan la me ba so she ba de yin tu ba shu so na yin ne ra ni tu ba tem be on ba se ra te la yin la re lama je be ki na ko ne shu de wa che ngo so yo sa che.
So this motivation is cultivated in the presence of Buddha Shakyamuni. Here, one tries to visualize being oneself in the presence of Buddha Shakyamuni, and Buddha Shakyamuni being in front of oneself, before oneself. And Buddha too is again surrounded by all the root and lineage gurus of the Lam Rim. And you yourself is surrounded by all sentient beings, including one's own kind parents. So we're taking 2 to 3 minutes to meditate on it, and so try to just focus on visualizing Buddha Shakyamuni, being yourself in the presence. Buddha is then surrounded by the root and lineage gurus, being yourself in the presence of the Buddha Shakyamuni. This alone is good for this short period of meditation. Let's take a 3 minutes of meditation.
다가서들 길로 집어지냐는 길로 집어지냐가 아니네 각세 바샤이 제다 아니 또 선제 단제 이된도 이게 아니 된다 간주 누구 원두세네 니 텔라 친이 저기 세대로 왔다 계속 하두시잖아.
So in order to working for the welfare of other sentient beings, having cultivated this appropriate motivations for the purpose of other sentient beings, I received the teachings of the Dharma.
so 된다 첨부지 루고에는 강가루루제 당가서 간다 제가서는 고리제 진도와.
So just like when we are planning to have some project, so the team members will have a meeting and how we can really succeed the projects.
다 된르긴 데라 고리 맞소기 다 가르쳐 버다. 맞소 지자체에서 여러 맞소기 싸도라니 이게 텔미스게 get던 거 말해. 맞소기 중심도 때 땡큐 받지 왜 받지. 텔라라니 이거는 간제는 로고도 세지로.
So now first cultivating motivation is laying the foundations. So having laid the foundations and what needs to be developed on the basis of cultivation of motivations.
대체 딱 가서기 응비 내서기 담당하는 가서 가도 아니 산에는 가서 가는도 그래 뒤제만은 가서 가는도 그래 뒤로들 가르쳐 그 세대로 뒤는 잖아 지송려 왔고.
So it's just like the experience that we have our day-to-day life, where I am right now, where I will going later, or where I will be tomorrow, and what I have done yesterday, and so forth. So this is how Dharma practice, goes.
Temba tubi ambogi thoma ane nga tenen yo ngen den sachen den ro ane nga thatu de ri ten de wa chi ni so ane chona zo langa den sho song sha de ro.
It is therefore Buddha has shown us a vivid examples that he had said that I was like that in the past, and I went through those paths. I embark upon the spiritual path. Having embarked on the spiritual path, I have achieved spiritual realizations, and in other words, the everlasting happiness that I long to achieve.
Ana sanje na yin nga so kanga jiba kande chene sanje pheba na nga so gare chene phe gor sana ani sanje ge thoma ani decha sha da timu so ge na sa da nga so tanda la na je bi yin decha sha da timu so de jiba je jang del te ta de ro.
So long as in the delusion of or the mental afflictions of ourself and that of the Buddha Shakyamuni prior to his enlightenment is concerned, there's not slightly difference between the delusions. Just as we have delusions such as anger, hatred, attachment, ignorance. So did Buddha prior to his enlightenment. He did possess all these, delusions. But what he did was he, applied antidotes through identification of those negative thoughts and emotions and overcome those negative thoughts and emotions.
Tama Pege Misiki Juyundi Nazo Karsa Chijuka Rinche Tadagi Juyudi Sai Mijun City Nolola Karsa Lozawa the Penchata Nyanda Jane Dua Dajilo Penlin said the Tats Chemashawaje Penchata Lozawa Region and Penajishanjo Monetonegi but Setuye and Jonda Redua.
So this is the text that we are dealing with. Is actually, the source of these teachings is coming directly from the Buddha himself. And whatever the experience that Buddha had, right from the beginning of his ordinary life and becoming state of enlightenment, how he really, took an initiative of, gaining such a state of enlightenment. And so it is everything that is written by him is all based on his experiential knowledge, not just the intellectual knowledge, but his experiential knowledge, which is then transmitted to the great Indian Pandits, the scholars, masters, practitioners, which is then in turn transmitted to great Tibetan masters and translators. And so such a text, the text that we are dealing with, it's actually translated, by a great, Tibetan translator, with the help of the great Indian Pandits, because in Samya during the great Tibetan, Dharma kings, in Samya monastery, they have a different sections of the translation sections, meditation sections. They have, ritual performance sections and so forth. So in the translation sections, each Tibetan translators had a Indian Pandits who would really, edit and proofread that has been translated by the Tibetan translators from Sanskrit to Sanskrit to Tibetan. So all this translation that we find right now is all written by someone who had gained this experience. It is they're sharing their own experience with us.
Tero ko degi nge tanda ne zepa pi chewa de chi chewa nyega rosa bi kesare tan rogri.
So this is the discussion that we had right now is actually included in the headings, the first two headings of the greatness of the authors given in order to give the teaching that has a noble source.
다 니시 제다 제고르사나 ene 단anga 수kenlo chene chenye chego hetero ata shebo boyena.
So then next comes how to listen and how to teach the Dharma.
다땡가 쇼게 소소게 지 개정 간제지 제서는 그 된다 대바 용어 된다라 견로 주고에 지 총체 대리 주 전에 그 지금 많이 맺.
So cultivating a motivation is very important, not only during the teaching, but also all kinds of dharma activities, starting from your daily routines or practice, beginning from early morning, prior to your actual practice. It is crucial to cultivate appropriate motivations.
다시 봐 남아 어제 로마제 대제 림발라 니치 난지 사와신이 된 비슷하다 때는 로제다장이 많이지 다도 지사 다 때는 로제다장이 림발라 니치 대대는 님벌림 비시 그와다 님벌 제단림 비시 니치 다 동번지사 다 님벌 제단림 비시 되는 니치 랑지 나자라 녀바자바다 님벌림 뭐지 다 동번지사 다 님벌림 생어들라 송지 주변에 주변 청년다 대모양 나제를 많이 하서는 주변 챔비 가서 주변에다 대모양 나제를 많이 하서는 주변 챔비 랑 냥서는 제지 다되는 가서 거기서 봐봐 주변 챔비 랑 나제를 많이 하서는 가도 돼야지.
So we are on the chapter, the stages of the path for the person of great capacity right now.
땅 속에 간에 바운드리 거잖아. 가서 강가 주부 송이 팀원이 랑지는 발은 예바도 로고로. 주부 동번이든 주부 챔비 팀원 주부 챔버도 중요인가 이런 것을 안 가더라.
So we need to understand the proper sequence of those paths. The path, the stages of the small capacity, middling capacity, and the great capacity.
가르사는 가서 선제 타지에 되는데 저와시면 예수는 제는 리마소아. 저와시면 선제 타지에 되는데 하도면 있고 뭐지 예바도 타고도 와. 전다 전부 두고로 와.
So here now we begin from the practice of the small capacities. It is not a right to take a rebirth for the benefit of all other sentient beings in the lower realms. So then, how can we benefit other sentient beings? Thus, our sole purpose of practicing in practicing of the small capacity, the stages of the path, the small capacities, is to gain a high rebirth for the benefit of other sentient beings.
다 거의 님이 마다는 지금도 가서 선제 타지 거의 동행에 나오는 메전에 아니 산제살 거고 놀라이 봐. 인사디 거의 님이 따고야 돼 주변에도 팀원이 나와 차로도 와.
So then, understanding the faults of cyclic existence or the samsara, the nature of samsara, is the practice belongs to the middling capacities, the stages of the middling capacities. So therefore, one must achieve liberations, and liberation not only gaining in the high rebirth, but also completely liberate oneself from cyclic existence. It's the practitioner of the objective of the practitioner of middle capacity.
근데 현재는 돈벌라 매게 주봉게 추진선에 렌데켈렌데 로고도 니바델라 니 연중에 상비되는 다음에도 비셔 냐네 제고도.
The first, the main practice for the person of small capacity, the practitioner of the person of the small capacity, is to observation of the 10 virtuous actions and abandoning 10 non-virtuous actions to achieve high rebirth. And then similarly, the next middling capacity is the practitioner practices the sole practice of the middling practitioner of middling capacity is to is to free oneself from cyclic existence by generating genuine renunciations, proceeded to, cultivation of the wisdom that understands selflessness. So now at the point we are on the great deities, on the stages, the great capacities, the practitioner of the great capacity, which is the enlightenment, the spirit of enlightenment, practicing the spirit of enlightenment of the bodhicitta. So spirit of enlightenment is the only entrance to the Mahayana vehicle. So we had those three major headings, in the great capacities. Begins from showing that developing the spirit of enlightenment is the only entrance to the Mahayana. And the second heading is how to develop the spirit of enlightenment. And the third is how to learn the Bodhisattva's deed after developing the spirit of enlightenment. So training in the mind, the stages of the path for the person of the great capacities, one should memorize those three headings. So because if you are able to memorize those three headings, then you'll be able to summarize the entire, teachings of the training in the mind of the stages of the path, the person of the great capacity. So how it really benefits us is like if you are able to memorize that, then when we speak about Mahayana vehicle, so then you'll be able to get it. You will get the overall idea of what is meant by Mahayana. How can we really enter ourselves into the Mahayana vehicle? So now, when speaking about Mahayana and Hinayana, or the Mahayana or Theravada, normally people make a distinction based on different races and different places. However, it's not the right, because Mahayana practitioner and the Theravadan practitioners made distinction on the basis of mental capacity. That's what we need to bear in our mind, all of us.
Bade adisha umi tawan bade adisha sa umi tawan zinjin Silimba senza no dimbe tawan zimba yinjang shangchu ji sen kong la tenne nyebe lama no ji gudin chesho se ngun zimba zimbi namba taba la sonro ji ne sheba shige tena langje ne la koji chenpo yodo sondo desh.
So now let's read through the text. So this page 20. So starting from the first paragraph, I think. So we already finished those stanzas, and then same stanzas, and then that's so that's the spirit of enlightenment is the supreme instructions, extracting the quintessence of the scriptures. Therefore, although the glorious Atisha held the Mahayana view and his teacher Selimpa the Madhyamaka views. Thank you. And his teacher Serlingpa held the Satya Karavadan, which is one of the branch of the Chittamatran view, minorly school's view. And then Atisha attained the spirit of enlightenment by depending on him, and therefore took him to be the kindest of his gurus. If those who know the core of the scriptures look at this part of Atisha's biography, they will gain a great understanding of a key point of the path.
상제지 공포타바기 이 제제기 주 파마니라고 됐어서나 돈요도베 셔러데 아마레스 샹추센데 바바레스 아니 바바다 아마니제 나네 소 리데 가르데는 로고르서나 바비 리데 되는 로고레스.
So now here state of enlightenment is produced by two primary causes. So two primary causes can be analogous to a parents, father and mother. Such as wisdom, realizing emptiness can be taken as a mother, and the method aspect, which is the bodhicitta, can be analogous to a father. So now it is an ancient tradition, if whoever is following the lineage, and then the lineage would be followed after father. The father will be the source of the lineage.
내가 가차고서는 상추센데 개체뭐 이미 개시시고래. 돈이도 베셔러데 티바송가라 네바도 거게대로. 티바송이 레버 카운터나요.
So now what I'm trying to prove here is now Mahayana, the lineage of the Mahayana, it's spring from the bodhicitta. It's coming into being from the bodhicitta. So the wisdom realizing emptiness as analogous to the mother, which is the common cause for both Mahayana and Theravada or the Hinayana. So the bodhicitta is the lineage, the source of the lineage of the Mahayana.
지당 조제사나 배낭아지 조제사 그래 로 나렌자기 나자기 쭈기 젠도 주베니 맞아 조제 바데 아저샤서 돈 떼바 피고래로 된저기 캬빠치 뭐지 아니 따위 전에 sen점이 따원정이 라마데 소 가르치는 정거야라나 라마 몸보예비 논으로
So Atisha Divamkara Shirijana said was a renowned scholar in Nalanda, and he was in fact praised by all the scholars as the crown jewel of the scholars among all the scholars of Nalanda during his time. And why then Atisha, who is so renowned, who upholds the highest philosophical standpoint, philosophical view, is really devoted to his teacher, who is actually holding a Chittamatran standpoint, Chittamatran's viewpoint.
라바도 가서 류소 롱셰 데벨로 돈에 다와 지송 지지 아니 장송을 틀라되네 아니 슬링 유라 페버스라고로.
So it is said, in fact, in order to receive the teachings from his teacher, his Selingpa, the Lamata, his teacher, the master Selingpa, wasn't in India at that time. He, in fact, gave up everything, even cost of his own life, to get to meet his teacher. He traveled like 13 months by boat to receive the teachings from Lama Selingpa.
다 추기 내가 생애 지연이나 아니 내가 되는 시도 거래서로 지 상주기 세면은 그냥 가르치잖아요. 해서 질을 해면 되겠지.
So that this really entails that if one has not received the instructions, unbroken lineage instructions from the teacher who holds the lineage of the teachings of the bodhicitta, it is not possible for us to generate bodhicitta. So therefore, without having bodhicitta, we will not be able to achieve what we long to achieve, which is the state of complete enlightenment.
대체 달로긴다. 델런베네 좀 많이 봐시 제지쇼나 대신비 샤로라 생 중세지 인방 상주지 생주시 레 상생지 쇼바 셰샤이 장순로아이 되면은 동송지 동지 레 동송 림보치 강대 신장 상주 생비 쇼바 메치도 송도.
So then here it says, if you generate this spirit in an uncontrived manner after making much effort, you will be imbued with the spirit of enlightenment, and then even giving a tiny morsel of food to crow will be considered a bodhisattva's deed. However, if you lack this spirit, even offering a universe of 3 billion world system filled with the jewels will not be considered a bodhisattva's deed. Likewise, actions such as the perfection from ethical discipline through wisdom, as well as the meditation on yourself as a deity and meditation on the channels, wind drops, etc., will also not be considered bodhisattva's deed. With the devoid of practice of bodhicitta, even one engages in the great tantric practices such as Guya Samaja and so forth. Let alone it become the real tantric practice. It is not even considered to be the practice of Mahayana.
라바도 가르자 제도비 nenjo바세 더 에니피데 더 진지지 인고전도는 여다체바도 로지슈도 하나가마 벤 디시테데 모처데 상추생기 마세마체 아니 상하이에서데 냥레체 된되게 진짜나 제우도.
So we have it's not very many years of story, but it's pretty it's pretty close, from now. It is not that long, but there are many who consider to be themselves as a tantric practitioner, such as practitioner of Yamantaka, Guya Samaja practitioner, or like He Vajra practitioners, who are said to be, taken it.
So
there are many have taken that. The story says that there are many have taken a rebirth as an animal that really indicates that his or her practice during his or her lifetime was devoid of practice of bodhicitta. So then, even though one may consider oneself as a Mahayana practitioner, if one lacks the practice of bodhicitta, then it is mere word. So you are not real practice. You are not actually, in reality, you are not a Mahayana practitioner.
Jitena Tsangawa Tans, Soada Pet Jobata, Rinpoche send the Ned Soma Sonji, Yu Jetsang, Gejolan Belo Shejang, Zoa Shin to Dua, Due, Zangawatan Dade, Saji Jayang Mela Asa. Send the near the Shisona, Reshi, Mingawa, Zoa Dane, Nobo Shede, Dene, Ngaye, Jose Zanao, Mondo, Nasimbatan Dade, Gijire, Juba Jamada, Sudiban, Delat nations, Sudiba Delat nation, Gawachuma, Aleto, Debate Chiloda. No sending interaction.
That's all. In the debate, then let's read through the text here again. If your precious spirit has not actualized the key point of the practice, no matter how long you try to cultivate virtue, you will not accomplish much. It is like a cutting grass with a very dull sickle. Sorry. And if your spirit of enlightenment has actualized the key point of the practice, however, it is like cutting the grass and sharpening the sickle. Even when you are not cutting the grass, you will be sharpening the sickle, and when you set to cutting, you cut the large amount, even in a short time.
The day better chosen the children, chosen Zangas and Missima the Tomania, as burning the Nangama so say the Lapai change.
So the sickle, maybe some of you may have not used at all. Here, you use machine and generate this engine and then just let it go. But in Tibet or many places, like particularly in Southeast Asia and South Asia, we still use the sickle. So that's an example.
That minitions that Gawachuma the Bakos and Zeba Nanjang, Jachewa the Mizeba Shibi Shitty Shunjule Sondo.
So then likewise with this fully actualized the spirit of enlightenment in each instant, you are able to easily clear away those obscurations and accumulate the collection of the merit and sublime wisdom. Even small virtues become extensive, those that would otherwise be lost after a certain period of time do not end. So therefore it says engaging in the bodhisattva states.
There are so delat zoba, dupa delat saba. Shanchuki Senagi, Dipa delat casa taba seguro, so delat zoba, and Shanchuki Senala German Sora.
It is only the practice of the bodhicitta, instantly enables us to accumulate tremendous amount of merits, and instantly enables us to, purify the tremendous amount of negativities or the negative karma, in other words.
The Gonetona, Natsuki, the condition in what is Langena, Shanchu Sengi Tone, Shanchu Sambachi Lunga is Shoba Kangate, that Chauji Minju Mero, Senjan Yosuzoba Minju such Mero, Laka, Jachambo Shujiro. Matsuki Sampiji, Shanchu Saint Gila lesson, Lunga is on his Shobate, D. Laka Chegumari say, money. Ben Zambili Laka Tichile Chebison Giro.
So if one have generated bodhicitta, then each of our actions of the body, speech, and mind is become a well-functioning, and that too is selflessly well-functioning, and the functioning for the welfare of other sentient beings.
Shanchu Sembe Dambazundi, Senja Tangela, Linga is Senja Tangela Papigo Yawa. Shanchu Senseni Pache, Linga is Senja Tangiri.
So when one is achieved, because when we are first committing oneself to cultivate bodhicitta, we are giving up all our, body, speech, and mind to entire sentient beings. Once we have actualized bodhicitta, in other words, cultivated an uncontrived bodhicitta, you are then said to be, your body, speech, and mind actually belongs to all sentient beings.
Then on the Linga, you said the Chibichala Chavare, Laiba, Chibichala Chavare, Picho Caditoni, Chibichala Pichoton.
So then this is this body, speech, and mind is no longer, owned only by yourself, but rather it is owned by entire sentient beings.
다 딘드기 계좌 지지시나요 선제 단지기 잘라 배제동 계좌지 시고요나다 델레니 바체지도 요 시고 말어 그렇습니다. 배는 같이 마서는 최지 우장에서 고보치시 타더로는 회비제제나 소야죠. 시에 우장 우당바탕야 선제 단지기 줄은 로고야나 아니 되게 디바다바당 겨와사비기 최된 제투고 말어.
So therefore all of this, activities of the body, speech, and mind, becomes the property of all other sentient beings. And even once, breathing becomes a property of other sentient beings. So with this kind of, practice, if we were to think about how much negativity that we are purifying by means of this practice, it is immeasurable. It is inconceivable.
This is the future. Gombochi Shechi Uzaya, Tada Rola maybe Jujana, Sonia Shibajana Major says, Majun and Chumaja. Then insane, Tindi inside the Sanjay Giora, Undong and Chela Sanjay Jolon Roles. Tanadel Pacoji Chinjua. Penangazuki Teriaka Chesachino and Shudela, Jalaj Koyorochis and Aicha. Pen Taji in this Geji Gawachungi Pacos in Zebaya, so Jachimo over city. Shanchu Samba Tasuki Penelaka Chesatering so Tsongachin and Rogoana, Shudukachi, Jala Chunju Koyorochis and Dayan Shanchu Sang Jalan Rogosage. Pacoji Laka Chunchu to say.
So everything when the Bodhisattvas, once you have cultivated uncontrolled bodhicitta, then everything that you do will become an accumulation of merits. One may be, completely engaging in some kind of some activities, but at the same time, one is also doing something else. But regardless of what you are doing, what kind of activities that may be, and there's no such activities that doesn't become a cause for accumulation of merits.
당가서 상주sem이 담바시상에서 빼냐가 첨보래다. 상주sem이 담바시상에서로와. 시변의 상주sem이 담바시도 수지자와 세다자와 반대자는 쇼고래로와. 디인들랑에 리론세 견소대 잡아 에네 선제 탄제된데 피고인 살라디 대대송대 게 리론세 견소대 잡아 집이 잘라 차로로와.
So here we are, when we are receiving the Bodhisattva's vow, we are committing ourselves to offer, all your body, speech, and mind to entire sentient beings to serve them. That too is again, in the presence of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, where our commitments are witnessed by all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, that you are committing yourself to offering your body, speech, and mind to entire sentient beings, to serve entire sentient beings.
당가서 단다 된주기 담발련 상임에도 게던 루다 집이 잘라데 게기 배제동비 소는 년간도.
So then here, once you have committed in such a way, and then we have to be cautious about what we are doing. We knew that there is some commitment in order to receive Bodhisattva's vow, and by knowing those commitments and importance of observing those commitments, we receive this Bodhisattva's vow. Now it is our duty to observe those Bodhisattva's vow if you have received.
제가 몽버지 고자레선도 전에 주도는도 마성문에 제나 고자레선 차이냐가도.
So if we do not use those property carefully, since your body, speech, and mind have become a property of all sentient beings, if you do not use this properly, then we might be charged as as a corruption case. You will be corrupted, in other words.
다 상주생이 당대의 배트 집부터 상주면 저부터 다 가신 조신데
Someone who is bodhisattvas, who have generated bodhicitta, will delightfully engage in such an act. They have no problem engaging in such an act of, offering their body, speech, and mind to the service of other sentient beings. For us, we as initial practitioners, we have to be cautious and be making ourselves familiar with such practice, to make those practice as a authentic or uncontrived practitioner of the bodhicitta, bodhisattva.
Gejen kanke senje neba njoro shedang tene tinti meje dijena keji jike ngeba seba shi jedang senje lene zangsa nete reji jenma de jara samare tiba de losha ni jagi.
So then it says, engaging in the bodhisattva states, the force of sin is great and extremely intense. Beside the spirit of perfect enlightenment, what virtue can overcome it? And also, like the fire at the end of the eon, it will instantly consume the grave sins. So let's take a break here.
Sanje Shindo Minde Bewaye Dogen Nanda Shinla Shuba Shu Yedang Guru Minde Nanga Nayan Dayan Min Chandech. Aya. Tatan Shinju City Chidan Jana City Langaso, the Gamaka Kwa, let me to Kegamendo. No. The Bashin de Mazel Shanaya Ne Carre. Shanchu Senye, Dibate Meboso to go matter sense and that in the Mare city. Shanchu is Saint Coron Chesona, Nibota Jacatang and the Chile. Shanchu sent it in Dibashaba, Nibota Jugona Shaga Segura. Shanchu sent a chance of sounding it.
So here if we look at this, the verse from Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life, where it says, the force of sin is great and extremely intense. Beside the spirit of perfect enlightenment, what virtue can overcome it? So what this verse actually emphasizes here is it emphasizes how powerful the bodhicitta is. There's no such negativity that can withstand with bodhicitta. Mm-hmm. So it says we have. Normally, when we speak about engaging in the practice of purifications, it is important to engage in practice of purification through application of 4 antidotes. But if you cultivate this bodhicitta, the 4 application is actually completed. It's included in cultivation of bodhicitta, the practice of bodhicitta.
Jadanga to Divasasa tela Nima do Yoma, Sasi Utel Nima do Yomare Lagos. Massanjin Latin Divasa Jedang, Ya control Latin be Divasa Nima do, was the Divasasi Utela?
So there are 2 possibilities of accumulating negative deeds or negative karma. The one, we accumulate negative karma in relation to the higher beings or the noble beings, and then the other, we accumulate negative karma or negativities in relation to sentient beings. So there are 2 possibilities of accumulating negative deeds or karma.
But Shanchuki Saint Jesona, Saint Tanchi, Net Jeba Inzan, Saint maybe deeper the Jema Chegamare, Tanda Kesi Chesha Yanayang, Joba Chegro. Thank you, Barata.
So here, if you have generated bodhicitta, then it suddenly will purify your negativity accumulated in relation to sentient beings. And not only that, you purify but also having a great regret and remorse, negativities that you have accumulated in the past as well.
나보다 팬범 바시 중에 지로와 매팬바 정세상 주요면 송으로
Furthermore, the generation of bodhicitta is only, to benefiting other beings. The motivation of bodhicitta, motivation that is influenced by the bodhicitta, is not even a slightest selfish thought is involved. It is completely selfless, and self-cherishing thought is completely eliminated.
대체 당은에 제는 든지기 산나치 동에디 뒷바가시 채나야 상추 생기다 깨지 되니라 매버서 투사를 상이지 리ペト나나 동여행에.
So there's a rationale behind it, with how, why, in what manner that's this perfect enlightenment, the spirit of perfect enlightenment can, overcome those negativities. We're hearing this translation, they translate it as a force of sin. How great it may be, but it can be overcome by instantly. It says spirit of enlightenment can overcome instantly.
되는 딘티면시 되잖아 깨지지게 봤어 봐세세도 당가서 깨빠 매긴지서는 깨지 되니라 샤도 매기 시발은 좋아요. 좋아. 배는 뻑강지 단다 매기 시발은 좋아요. 그지?
So this is like the fire at the eon, fire at the end of an eon. It will instantly consume grave sins. Just like when speaking about the fire end of eon, the fire at the end of eon, which is just unconceivable for us. It's just so huge. It's powerful, fire. So it is just like consuming even one hair by the great fire.
대라 사도 자세 깨지 진여마로 왔다. 지대지 칸데니 깨지니라 잠에 당샤고라. 딘디면서 맞아 깨봐 면지 차이나 뒤지 타마들 깨봐 메인 집에 거이나 딘디게 메디 슈간데 지어서나 깨지 되니라. 리접 사도 용수 줘봐데 깨지 되니라 나거스 당샤고라. be 나카 동바나 조샤고라.
Like the fire at the end of the eon, it's the force of this, fire at the end of the eon is extremely intense. It can, burn away everything in the world instantly. Instantly, the world can become completely empty, completely burned away.
저랑이 질러 상추기 생지 쩌와데 깨지 되니라 마사지 디파 되니라 딘티 메기 세바나이 차그리.
So likewise, if you are able to generate uncontrived bodhicitta, will consume your all negativities, regardless of how intense, how powerful they may be, but it can be consumed instantly.
딘디기 세바지 제대로 왔어. 딘디기 센텔 답칸리지 노세. 센데기
So therefore, you think about how powerful it may be. It's just.
다 딘디기 생기 떡이 표현 딘디지요나 랑일에 유한친제래도야서네 양치 따다.
So then, since this is such a powerful, powerful spirit, which is the spirit of perfect enlightenment. So then the question is it possible for us to cultivate such a powerful, spirit?
자자자 유한여보 마친 중예보 몇세쟁이나 차진정보 용수조보 상당한 손.
Then the answer to this question is absolutely. We can cultivate this, bodhicitta, because we do possess, all those causes and conditions, and that too is like complete causes and conditions, it says, and we have this favorable condition to cultivate if we really put an effort to practice this spirit of enlightenment.
오늘 저는 가서 이제 땡에 타네 돼서 나가 서 벤조 침보 쉬우지 오늘 전에 저는 벤조 침보 쉬우지로 와 배트 하나마서는 반은 잠블리 규조 동토에게 벤조 가서 요래.
So if you can, say that we are very wealthy actually, in other words. We're a very wealthy individual, that we do have all those wealth that can, the wealth can be, divided among all human beings on this planet Earth.
스페셜로 세계 도선도 된거는 추동되네 칼라마라 된대야 된다고 치. 로 세계 도도선에 된거는 추기 아니 방고 차돼야 돼. 세세인 방어만 차지.
So just like we are having the golden container, but you are not being able to recognize that golden container, but you are using to boil water in the golden container. If you cannot recognize the container that is made out of gold, and then it has no use. It doesn't have much use.
등쪽에 센터 자체뭐 가르치는 쪽으로서 연주 신주 있을 제긴 쪽인다. 봐. 제당한시 신전은 이제 레네장 셀로냥도사 산나양 편도 삼바 당대데 선나 밤에 된저나 신전레리 메데와 빠도메바 센데지 레레원인 템밤에도 주번도 메지 그 세당사 원데.
So then it says, it's from the same text, engaging in the bodhisattva deed. And also, if even those who think I'll clear away just the headache of living beings have such a beneficial intention that they receive immeasurable merits, then what is there to say of one who aspires to clear away the immeasurable unhappiness of each being and to endow each with immeasurable good qualities.
되게 고알련다 상주생이 편되게 된용으로 맞어 요다로 신제지기 된다라 깔래 저로 당고에 내지기랑이 계속 제 산남에 동안체 젬바시 되어야 된다 예미지기 대지여야 된다 주는다 오늘 전에기 맞어 저바 제 메퉁이 겨워요로.
So it's just, if working for the welfare of one sentient beings has such a benefit, then what is there to say of one who is willing to work for the welfare of all other sentient beings? So the benefits that we receive out of that in working for the welfare of other sentient beings is immeasurable.
당 나도 mel로로제 차진의 견자만 차진 때스 진자나 소소라 수든 냥도라 편로아 소소야나 단데 야나지지 소소 냥데 티셔샤그로아 상주 심비 셔바세 요디 베데 라니 베들로도네 젬 바시마다 산도아맹이치.
So most of the time when we engage in some charitable act, such as working for the welfare of other beings, there is always although it's a positive act, but the positive act is always tinged with some kind of negative motivations there, either attachment, longing for name, fame, or there's a tinge of self-cherishing mind. It's always there. I am the one who is doing it. It's always there. But if you are engaging in charitable act based on generation of bodhicitta, there's not even a smell of charitable act, self-cherishing mind.
대양 신제지기 된다라 마인바 로아 뒤쇠지 마인바 신제 장매비 된다라 개바 장매바선다 but 뒤쇠 쳐바지네 매래.
So that too is working for not for one or two individuals or the group of individual people, but rather completely dedicated one's service towards the welfare of all other sentient beings, and completely dedicate your entire life, not this life alone, but the life, the eons of eons. You are dedicated to of service other sentient beings.
신진 레리 된다라 가르 나면은 개바 자손냐가 나야 메소베니 상추선비 전리세는 가 소요 남아치만 되고요.
If you look at the abbreviated Lam Rim at the end of Lama Chaba, the Xingzhen Damba, where it said, just for the one sentient beings, it is worthwhile for me to be in the hell realm for eons and eons. I will never, lose my joyous perseverance for the working for other sentient beings.
나 든드게 변의 상추 선바 다 센터 여바 가실라 든드 상추 센제요데 자세지 쉐발로 로요데 몽차와데 따때다가 투에 그러면 되세나 양원이라는 마사르게 상추 선바 요래.
So there are practitioners who are on the verge of generating uncontrived bodhicitta, but then they become so disheartened and then fall into again that law of the Mahayana path of becoming Shervaka or the Pratikya Buddhas. So there are some practitioners who are initially wanted to really to become a bodhisattva and engaging in the bodhisattva practice for a long period of time, but then will be disheartened and then go back to the stage of Shervaka and Pratikya Buddhas.
또 상추 센데 답 치자는 비다자는 딱 나서 있던 레히 저 투금도 로일이 슌 투금도 거의.
It's just so unconceivable when we think about the bodhicitta. We only go through the explanation based on the text, but if you really think about the quality of those bodhicitta and the benefits of this bodhicitta, it is unfathomable. It is just something that beyond explanation.
당가서 너무 찌노로라 너무 디노기 미치게 너무 연수 좁아라 세와기 가디는 려면 통에게 너무 미치야나 너무 감각이 코면은 내 메투비선에 작으러 와 시보 세장으로 왔다.
Just like when someone who really takes care of his or her family, from the depth of his heart, and then all the member of the family knew that he is the only one who is really taking care of them. If this is the case, then all the family members, they become unbearable in his absence, in his or her absence, isn't it?
당가서 곧 대쇼시에서나 아마찌기 붙지라 아마들 붙지 받으면은 아마들이 붙을 세와 가서 열어라. 다들 충충으로 다 대나기지 선제 진용은 주바대야 지대내 잡이 세와들마도 처지된 주토에 말에 다 대래 잔지 동지 수쳐요.
Just like the bodhisattvas, the way they have sense of caring and sense of connectedness with other sentient beings, it's like a mother who has sense of caring for her only child. So this is how the bodhisattvas have this sense of caring for entire sentient beings.
든드지 니 두고라 니 두투금도 왔다. 대통령도 별로다 마타별로세 드네시에서나 유응비네 지텐라페네 유응비네 셰라로. 단다때 롱원에 째네 두네 가운데 발로다 로사네 니 두고라.
So now this is how it's difficult for us to cultivate this bodhicitta. Cultivation, as we talked about earlier, there's possibility that we all possess this complete causes and condition within us. Yet at the same time, the development of the uncontrived bodhicitta will not happen overnight. It requires a rigorous practice. When speaking about engaging in the practice of meditation on emptiness and impermanence, there's involvement of subject and object, and understanding of emptiness established based on establishment of the reality, isn't it? But when it comes to the bodhicitta, there's not much subject and object, involvement of subject and object, but rather you're trying to meditate upon and transforming your mind into the subjective, which is the subjective transformation, in other words. So therefore, it is far more difficult to generate bodhicitta than the wisdom realizing emptiness and the wisdom realizing impermanence.
사 통보로는 비 상주 선바도서 돈이 또 응소도 또네 니 상주 생의 생비도는 돈이 응소도네 아 베데 기보슈 슈드 슈 갑제 아니 사 디니 바차다 잡아 빠네 상제 베데 상제비 나야 선생이 되면 이제는 데미징이 돼서잖아 니 니지 전부터 상주 생
Beginning from
the
Mahayana's path, all the way from the first bhumi, Sadangpo, which is the first bhumi to the complete state of enlightenment. Those bodhisattvas who are tirelessly, selflessly, constantly working for the welfare of other sentient beings is actually forced by compassion, bodhicitta. Bodhicitta is the driving force behind those enlightened activities. So therefore, the great compassion and bodhicittas are said to be important like a seed, important in the middle, like a moistures and the sprouts, and then important at the end to enjoying the fruits.
다도 아양 시타만지라스데냐 시에당한지 겨와지게 추시전도네 저부제네 세번조와니 상추센주 준신 따바양 저분진베 메세페완지 셰소송도.
So same text, engaging in the bodhisattva state, it still says. And also, all other virtues are like the plantain tree, changing the plantain tree. After bearing fruits, they perish. But this spirit of enlightenment, like a wish-granting tree, always bears fruit and never dies, but flourishes.
됐지. 다되게 간절히 네 겨와진다도서 레베데 미면 다가랑조 상주생인 레베데 가디네 데데 가르레서 나와이나.
So now, what it really says here is the virtue that is accumulated, or the merits of the virtue that's accumulated on the basis of, with the motivation of your bodhicitta, will never perish, will never die, in other words. Why this is so?
대세유디 상추 센세나 선전타지 조비 상제지 고보 마타바도서 라유디 디기 디세데 조야면도.
So why? Because look at the motivation itself. When speaking about the motivation of bodhisattva, we are speaking about working for the welfare of entire sentient beings until all of them gain state of enlightenment. So it is inexhaustible, isn't it? Until entire sentient beings gaining state of enlightenment, I will work for the welfare of all other sentient beings.
맞아 고모 자치데 선전타지 조샤 마타지 봐도 배조 땅으로 지세나 마살을 자샤나 데 사샤는 되게 말어. 선전타지 조샤 마타지 봐도 그 제가 배조 땅을 지 땅되는 마도 그 하도 그러.
So this will remain until sentient beings gain the state of enlightenment. If one engages in virtuous activities, accumulated merits on the basis of generating bodhicitta, and that virtue will remain until they gain state of enlightenment.
제대 지발해. 가서 배자들이 자고요. 가서 돈에서네 자고를 자서자서는. 데디 그 지시만에 봐도 돈에 되든 대도 가르서는 선전 양에 되게 콜미네 자셔로.
So it is dedicated towards the state of enlightenment of all sentient beings. So it will always remain.
됐지. 됐지. 가르서는 데배도아 가서 길라들 치신진 인사래. 길라들 미네에 째서는 코로기 노도데 째서서나 코로 시로에서로. 연조텔 코로 동보데만 머리가 연조 콜로 테베제 메인사를 수도 버제는 마도. 그래가
Kela de Mari.
Kila de ngaso mini khoro amang ne che de ye do che che yo da. Do che de khoro re sa de khoro che sa su ji ne da ne ma do khoro da ga ro zo do da. Chi hin se de kila lo do. Ina me ji. Khoro dombo mini dombo chi che de le ni ga ra song ga ra che me yin sa khoro rang ro zo do ge sa.
So there are some fruit plants, it bears their fruits, and then plants will, it will not, bear any other fruits, later on. After, bear a fruit at one season, then the plant itself will die. So it's just like a crops, the normal crops that we have, if the season is gone, then the stock and everything is completely swept away.
상추 생생의 pen 조와 적고다 콜라 펜다 예대도려나 다된 할 거세 되 용고고 들어.
So now here how to develop the spirit of enlightenment and how to develop the spirit of enlightenment is explained in 4 parts here.
맞토이나 저런 총대 전에 계속만도 좀도 계속 당제 당제 돌아나 좀바지는 예빠도 적으러다.
So this actually talks about the benefits of generating bodhicitta. So it is encouraging you to actually engage in the practice of the bodhicitta so that you have such benefits. Just like someone who would just come and encourage you to do some kind of business. If you really do this kind of business, so you may gain a lot of benefits out of this business. And if you know there is possibility of getting such a benefits, then nobody will give up, right? So similarly, in order to generate bodhicitta, we need to know about the benefits of the bodhicitta.
So
for this benefits is something that is undeniable. The generation of bodhicitta, the benefits of generation of bodhicitta, which is actually what is the benefit that out of generating bodhicitta that we gain is to happiness, which we all long to achieve. So therefore, who would actually deny, the benefits or receiving the benefits of bodhicittas? Without the generation of bodhicitta, we will not be, abandon the complete, defilements, or in other words, complete mental afflictions. So even one has generated a wisdom realizing selflessness or emptiness, not only just we have realized, but also realized, it says that direct realization with emptiness will not, eradicate the obscuration to omniscience. So there are obscuration to omniscience, obscuration liberations. So with the wisdom realizing emptiness is supported by the bodhicitta, will then only be able to, eradicate wisdom obscuration to omniscience.
아니 대전은 주고 코나 상추생 코나리 세대 코나 임바 마치 되면아 아니 된데 대화 타임에 봐 대닝 되시고 단대 사제 동보.
So how it says that developing the spirit of enlightenment, how to develop the spirit of enlightenment is explained in 4 parts. Then earlier 사제 시체를 난 되면
네. Marcol Sachi Yunjureda.
Oh, right.
And the Saint Jetachi Tuesday, Sachi Genuine, Tanjai Sachi.
No.
Lojang.
Then
you Zai Saji, but Casa Tibachi Lojang, Sachi Somadme.
Lojang, the orders.
The order Sachi, Saint Jetachi Vitilla Sachi. Tama Yunjinda. That's Saji Nibango, that Saji Niba Saint Jetachi, two say there, Saint Jetachi, two saying it. And Jokala Dene Sanjitsi, Jodan Jokala Dene Sanjitsi, Jankala Dene Sanjitsi, but Ju Jin Top somewhere. Alita Toga, Tomo Sanjitsi Lasa, Jokala Dene Sanji Jetachi Batans, Ale Shanju Sanju, Tombo del Soredo, Jokala Dene Shanju Sanji Jeba, Shanju San Jambi Rimba, and Sandy Jibitsi, Choka Zombi, two laws, and Saji Sandy Jizitala Sajidoa.
So there are four parts. How to develop the spirit of enlightenment. And so the first part here, it says how the spirit of enlightenment depends on certain causes to arise. The stages of training in the spirit of enlightenment, and the measure of producing the spirit of enlightenment. How to adopt the spirit of enlightenment through its rituals.
Saji Jetero, the Jokala Dene said, Amati Hatsuki Shanchuki Saint Jambirimba said, Nibataliodo, Saint Jesse di Lobuki Chene, and Shanchuki Sende, Net the Shanchuki Saint Jagin Sejero, the Riki Jan Carata Chene, Thomas Shanchuki Saint Jigur Sejero. The Jedang Kosol 2 Yabu Imagine and Kansas, the Gona Shanchu saying Pan Chanso Shesaro, the Pan Tagarang Shanchu Saint Jingoro, and that's on the segment door, and Neko Gent and the Chena, Shanchu Saint Jingoro.
So, having understood the benefits of generating bodhicitta, then how, so once you have understood the benefits of generating bodhicitta, now how the next step is to how you actually generate, how you actually practice to generate bodhicitta. And what kind of causes and conditions to be gathered in order to generate bodhicitta?
No, teach it. That's such a song. Tang doing that. Young Tombola song less. Jen Jelly teach many Jen Juji tops and as you saw your altar chamber to song ledge. The Jen Jelly Jetiness Sanje San Shansenji. 想生就对上就没叫把让给通，一切把嘞，拖把了点呢，没得拖把了点呢，刚了那把当手边相处，点呢推切我娘的生节把当起，点打比通拖阿来多么的积累下，坚些弄坚积的，没得坚松一种。
So that's how the spirit of enlightenment depends on certain causes to arise. How the spirit of enlightenment depends on the certain causes of arise is explained in three parts here. So the development of the spirit through the four conditions, and the development of the spirit through the four causes, the development of the spirit through the four strengths.
就当我做建设说呢，别人谈到民建设说呢，谈到我做啷个路的，面头比到就通比建设呢，面头得了七八件事情了，民建，就当我做民建设的，想就生意偏要把刚些去了，你偏西边头呢想接把刚些去了，那个建的车把生意去些要去了啊，建设的忙起来那个一就过过了的。
So the condition in the Tibetan term for the condition is ken. Ken is normally causes that is immediate kind of cause. When you see a flower, that you, by seeing the flower and you see this flower is very beautiful, and at the moment that you think the flower is very beautiful, and you have some kind of, you generated some kind of attachment towards the flower, and the flower becomes the immediate cause or the immediate condition is called ken in Tibetan. Immediate condition of the attachment that you have towards the flower. Mm-hmm. Similarly, in order for one to generate bodhicitta, there needs to be immediate conditions as well.
주단 상추생이 편여톤 매바여 봐 간실라 문에 상추생 줄어 댕에게 상제 상추생 받다 대다 되기는 반도와서네 디기 제전에 상추기 생지바 지용을 했지 된다 되리.
So the immediate causes and condition is a possibility of, one must gain a conviction in the possibility of actualizing this, bodhicitta within oneself. Just as all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas has achieved such a, spirit of enlightenment, so I too have these causes, have gathered those causes and conditions within me. So I'm convinced that I will be able to generate this enlightened, the spirit of enlightenment. So these motivations will become a immediate condition for giving rise to bodhicitta.
다등에만 제시때 로상이다. 로는 연주 크기 된디도 올려요도. 이제 저신데 강저거면도. 대답이 통토 매장 라나메비 상주레 zam비 되네 니 예바당서 상제지 실라면에 생제바당지 주마도장 상생제 당주 노도 녀와 통하나 주 대답은 내바네 생제바도메비 동해세와 시바 다게 상생제 주린도 내바샤이 시던 예바 생제도 녀네 생제바당지 주 노보만 통하야 뒤예바 띠무 당서 원차던 침에바 차도던 세나 시체위 뒤인데 예랑게 상주의 생제바 예바가나 라미 상주의 생제바 따점에 레시다게 생제나 젠대답은 조로냐도 생제바 가와 토나 생제제바데 조세 뒤된디 원당도 로샤죠.
So then here, the development of the spirit through the four conditions. You develop the spirit of enlightenment, either by seeing for yourself the inconceivable power of Buddhas or the Bodhisattvas, or the hearing about them from a reliable person, and then thinking this enlightenment in which they abide or which they pursue is very powerful. Although you may not have seen or heard or such power in this way, you can develop the spirit by listening to the scriptural collections which take unsurprised enlightenment as a point of departure, and then spring to the sublime wisdom of the Buddhas. Although you may not heard the teachings, you can develop the spirit by understanding the excellent teachings of the Bodhisattvas. It's about despair, and then thinking, I will definitely develop spirit of enlightenment so that Bodhisattva's teaching will remain for a long time, because the existence of such teachings remove the suffering from the immeasurable, innumerable living beings. And then, although you have not seen the decline of the teaching, you think that it's difficult to generate the spirit of enlightenment of even a Shervaka or Pratika in this terrible time, in which there's a preponderance of the ignorance and shamelessness, lack of embarrassment, jealousy, stinginess, and the like. Then what need is there to mention developing the spirit of enlightenment? So if I were to some point to develop spirit of enlightenment, others would surely follow. Thus you generate the spirit of enlightenment through seeing the difficulty required to develop.
젠지 최외디 단도바 다 제지어로 안간 로그 전수 따다 전수세 로지 든르기 젠지 최원지는 건지자다 젠지요로 제지 젠지 따지.
So there are 4 conditions, 4 causes, and 4 strength. So just like that, you wanted to go somewhere, and you have a motivation of going somewhere, and based on that motivations, the importance that you know that it's how important for you to go there, by knowing that importance, then you actually go there. So in the same way, in the same manner, how important it is for me to work for the welfare of other sentient beings. Not only that you have these motivations, but you actually engage in such a deeds to the working for the welfare of the sentient beings.
Taking the hit is here down to the Saint Ness, Tatambre, Shanchu Chamber Sanjeba, Je Tsongkapa, Shanchu Tabandova, Jewosa. Taking Digit and the Shanchu Sanjay say the Karela words and Shanchu Sanjeb and Dobachi warriors, not Shanchu Sanjigins and Dobachi warriors.
So the concerning how the spirit of enlightenment arises from the 4 conditions, it says that they inspire you to attain great enlightenment. So a desire to attain enlightenment arises. The ways in which it happens are as follows. So then not only that you have encountered the conditions, but you are actually engaging in the deeds. You are actually engaging in the development of the bodhicitta itself. Not just having a motivation of engaging in the practice, but you're actually engaging in the practice. So first one need to understand the birth benefits, and then you're completely delighted by the understanding the benefits of generating bodhicitta. Having understood the generating of bodhicitta, you are then entering into the path which actually enables you to engage in the practice of the bodhicitta.
That is change the Rishio Jodo Chizolo.
That's all.
Chekangi Sheba Las and Dombone, Kandeshagerson, Chunchun Wansawa, Na Tona, Tune, Yanseche de Edge. Let be shown to the Dagi Toba Shao Yamba Yilas, Derita.
So here now, after you see or hear, the first it says, after you see or hear about supernormal powers, you are aware thinking, right? Our thinking, your odd thinking. You will attain such enlightenment and then generate the spirit of enlightenment. So if one has a really good imprint of engaging the practice, very powerful imprints of engaging in the practice of bodhicitta, then by seeing and hearing the supernormal powers, or seeing and hearing the sublime teachings of the bodhicitta, will really delight you, to really drive you to engage in the practice of the bodhicitta.
Chumawala Sanjay Yen, Nyemba Tang, Nyemba Tang, Nyemba Tambore, Debachesa, Nyebe Tombocheba, Tomboche, Tene Dala, and Tonde Chewosa. Chumawala Sanjay Yen, and
the second is through hearing about and good qualities of the Buddha from an instructor, you first develop faith, and then there arises a desire to attain these qualities. So it is, in general that when we first listen to someone, or when someone is explaining something and someone is asking you to do something, and if you think that is not good for you to do, then we don't do it, right? If you think that it's good to do it, so you do it. The same thing.
Sumba Techinji Temba Nyamba Manjane, Sanjiji Shetande Jaba De, Della Temba Manu na, Senjiji Dongilen Doba Tong, Dongi Sevi Shit, Miba Yuejang, Senjibi Jinji Zo, Temba Nobal, Mazeba Yinde, Getamayana or the Niji Dene Jawa, Shibatan Doso, Jibane Denchi, Senjiji Gobatone, Zo De, Gune, Sanje Topan, Doba Jede, Senjibandene, Shanju Topan. Shaju Tonde Jebi Gone, Jacke, Chedesha Yugone, Mayaban Hango, so on Teba Javi.
So then the third is on finding the thought of the decline of the Mahayana teachings unbearable. You develop the desire to attain Buddha's sublime wisdom. In regard to this last point, you see that if the teachings does not disappear, the suffering of living beings can be stopped. So, even though your objective is indeed to remove sufferings, nevertheless, the principal condition for the spirit of enlightenment arises in your inability to bear the fact that the teachings might disappear. Otherwise, this way of developing the spirit would repeat the explanations presented later on this text of how the spirit arises in dependence on compassions. The fourth is this: after you see the rare how rare this most powerful spirit is, you develop a desire to attain Buddhahood, spurred on principally by this awareness.
다 가래 영어 쇼세가 단다 발랑어서 니 상주지 생을 못 치마제네 라진 관계양 단다 루마도 나와샤스 다능에 상주 생을 못 치게 표현 대신에 라진 인가게 단루와 정문에 제기 니 제네 방향 되는 쇼베네 단지 아니 너무 니 초진 제베 신조노도 소서네 홍한다 만나니가 자다 아니 오늘 단다 temba 차라고.
So it's still a dedication here by thinking that up until now that I haven't been able to understood the benefits of the bodhicitta and how to develop bodhicitta. So from now on, as I understood how to the benefits and how to develop bodhicitta, I will engage rigorously in the practice of the bodhicitta for the benefit of all other sentient beings. So may all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the 10 directions bless me to be able to do this.
Kundo yanda lama dan jeme chuje be la long shue jin sadan la je yuden rozo ne do je changye go gong yun do yo guru rana min je la ga na yan da ya me 人多别的从年的可到阳波康熙少波的老面马人给动着我呢南真教育王波到九级但马顺便才到更多样江边养着在月节中呢根上浪着就年年周边见那年些手让给接近多边浪着呢修长在月长月到给节朝月月节明报四些呢教育担保有人真就节担保人情就给忙着吧乔将娘把区别说的呢，年纪轻不也让就把也，偏的对的是我些不修，最近教育民众真来来住上处让就人别讲，他的那就也让别的心，教育自把人都讲究起。朗上主编听见主些情，看见世界莫当面面根，才到更多家园行包也，浪当这我忙就接，刚才贴吧求了去学节，最近住了准备特别菜。多点那就大多主些钱，这些将是说跟朝就节。那面国在绕点钱，那个真的说就结巴当，路上点别正面上上节，这也面色大多年就节。绕月过月心刚速，偏当的我忙里就月呢。现在在往定真家作业，小百姓天报都定就节。8月7到7八当，更多上不太阳天现的，待到跟着结束到老学。给我的大堂姐绕多我，对上西边叫我堂姐姐，我刚了秋冬我把的，大金给月早晚对跟讲，上不学习绕多我。